So let's call this a Pajero update video. It's Michael Mechanical here, and I'm with the Pajero NDNL, whatever the hell it is, because of the rear end makes it hard to really make a decision what it is. And the great news about this car is it's been going back together slowly. This hasn't gone back together yet because there's a piece that goes in there, which is this, and there's this. They go in here, but unfortunately they're broken, so got to glue it all back together while it's all assembled. Otherwise we have to pull linkages off the bottom of this, pull this out again, pull it apart again, put that back on first. It's just a headache, so we're just going to put it together in there while it's in the car. It smells like WD-40, because I've been going around and servicing these components, like the stopper, the door hinge points, but it's nice and shiny because it do the doors, because I've been stuck in a car before and that's not pleasant. So now we have this. It has to be mounted. I'm waiting for Dad to do it. He also painted the toe ball, he sandblasted and everything, so it looks nice and new again. There's a lot of work still left to do on this thing. Like there's rust everywhere a little bit, or in the back corner here we still haven't fixed this properly because we don't have the tools, meaning we're going to have to put that on hold until we can afford to buy tools. And I'm going to open up the hood now. It's going to be Unit 1 again. It's going to have the tape, and it's going to look like what it was before, because the inspiration is it was looked after well, I guess. Not perfectly. It's just it was a fire vehicle by someone before, which is why it was called Unit 1. And what had tape on it, this was years ago, this would have been used as that. And they would have used this import for that reason. Now it's all dirty for the one reason, the coolant's going splashing off the fan. The great news is I got some work to do still. I have to install a pump because we couldn't put together ours because we don't have a seal kit. And so I got this kit, this pump, and I'm going to be putting it on there, and that one should be good, because if you've watched my most recent video from yesterday, I believe it was, or my most recent videos from yesterday, you'll find that we have another one of these. Well, not exactly the same. It's an 88. It was a turbocharged 88 diesel engine with the V5M21 gearbox. It's all still on the back of my ute, so I can't go nowhere in it. Ow! I hit my head on the catch. What a goose. And she's looking fine, so I'm going to have to put the pump on here and remount it. I'm not sure what else there is left to do, except for putting the front together. As you can see, the panels are back on. The trims on the inside here are in. This here is a bit of a problem. We might have to figure out how to secure that better than that. The other side has two screws, one up there and one down there, and there's a sign that there was a bracket on there, so I don't know where the brackets have gone. I remember seeing them. They were broken. The rear ones, rear flaps do have these brackets, but they're broken as well. As you can see, there's the bracket, and it is cracked still, but it was welded, sort of, and that's what's keeping that intact. This does have to have mud flaps, by the way. Every car that ever had mud flaps has to keep them. You can't really take them off. All of the doors are okay now. This, get a new one of these, that'd be cool, because it's mounted weirdly. Different screws, it's bent. It has the chrome mirror, has the flat one on this side and the bezeled one on the other one. I think it's called bezeled, I'm not sure. I have to take this mirror off and take it to a shop to see if they can replace the glass, put something original in there like this one. But as you can see, there's a hole in here, there's probably spiders in there too. It's not designed for anything but a bezeled piece of glass, this one. So the question right now remains, is this one a bezeled one or a flat type? So this one is a bezeled one, but they only put a flat piece in, so this has been broken before. That's why it's got a flat piece in it. So someone's redone the glass on this side because it's been smashed. So it looks like we can redo it. And this is mostly stainless steel, chrome. This is not a cheap vehicle. We got other things to do as well, such as fixing up the bump stopper things, such as we got here. This one's completely broken off, and this one's not actually attached by anything. This one's attached by 2 tech screws. It's meant to be up there, it's down there. We got some work to do, guys, and it takes a lot of effort, a lot of work. I'm actually pretty exhausted today and I'm still pushing on. I just put the hood back on. I painted little bits and pieces because there's rust underneath and Dad wants to look nice, and it's a bit of protection for now because this car is going to get spray painted. So if you've seen the roof, I've been sanding it but I haven't painted it. So this update is pretty much to clarify the situation. I'm actually going to look, see, rust. And that paint is that good that rust will come through it, which is why I don't like that paint, which is why I didn't mind painting with it. It's cheap, it's nasty, and based on what we were just talking about, I said this is going to be Pajero update. Well, bad luck. Here's your Triton update. So this is a Pajero engine out of a Pajero, and there is also the Pajero's hydraulic gearbox here as well. But the internal components are the same as on some other vehicles as well. So this is here. The bad news is this has play in the shaft, so that's going to go. I got some cleaning to do of all this stuff, as well as the fact that I'm going to have to pull the gearbox apart and check it internally. I'm going to have to clean up all this oil off the tray. There's probably oil under the tray as well, or on top of the fuel tank, or I mean, it would have gone somewhere. Yeah, there's some oil there. So this has been leaking all over the place. The oil shouldn't have had oil leaks. And this did really, really well. My Triton has done really, really well. It went up the hills. And it didn't blow the head gasket officially. It seemed like it at one point. I was like, nervous. So those components are going to have to go here for now, because we don't have everywhere to put them. But we're planning to get them off quickly. Because, well, Dad wants me to take this engine, put it straight onto the engine stand, which is why the Pajero's coming out, white one, and he wants to pull apart the bottom end to check it out and see how good it is. Unfortunately, can't afford everything right now, so this is going to be on the side. It's going to be a side project. It's going to happen slowly, so we get done bit by bit by bit. It's a good block. It's been rebuilt, so that's a good sign. The bad sign is, why did they toss it? We're also going to try and get some new covers and make this as flashy new as possible. The Triton one will probably get pulled along with the gearbox. Gearbox will have to be reconked in the Triton properly and be done slowly, because there's problems with it that need to be fixed if it's going to ever be properly rebuilt. So it's not a proper rebuild that's in there. And it's done 50,000 kilometers, no problems yet. But that's the only good news about that. So the V5M that's there, hopefully it's going to be able to do the job that I need it to do, but I need to pull it apart to check if that shaft's any good or not, based on the bearing positioning, the spinning, and the output shafts wear on the spigot bearing, because it's worn really bad there, meaning the spigot won't be useful on this one. One that's in the car right now will be okay. Not really sure. I got to do some homework how long that spigot lasts. I couldn't find nothing on it. But the reason I checked this is because the guy that I talked to about this, I ran into him. He was a guy who was going to buy one of these off of, and I'm still probably going to do it anyway for spare parts and spare proper running thing that I can just throw back in the car if anything goes wrong. He told me a bit about the V5M21 and how that puts load on the inside when it's the spigot goes. And so the load is like something to do with bang, bang, bang all the time. It does the damage internally or something. I'm not quite sure what he was trying to say, but it's pretty much the impression I got. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to get a V5M21 rebuild kit for this. I'm going to rebuild probably this one, or if I can't do it with this one, I'm going to be buying the other one, and then I'm just going to buy a rebuild kit for the Pajero's, not the Pajero's, the original Triton transfer case, which is this one on the ground. I seen one of these, it's split in two at his place, because strange danger, you shouldn't do it, but I went to his place to go check out this gearbox he had, as well as to learn some things about these things, and it's the same guy I've been talking to online, and we didn't even know until we got there. But essentially, when we were talking, he showed me one of these that was broken in two, so they can actually go wrong if you do not do things correctly. He's also let me know that I need to rebuild my tail shaft, and I had replaced it because I blew mine out and it was no good. And so the journey begins. I'm going to be pulling this shaft out. I'm going to rebuild it and put it back on the Triton. As for the other one, it'll come off, it'll be a spare, and yeah, that's going to be the plan. So at least I don't have to worry about it. It's the main drive shaft that's the problem. The front shaft isn't really a major problem, so that's okay. But that's now we're getting out of the Pajero. So the thing about this Pajero is, I want to do a compression test. I want to find out if this thing about this being 200 PSI in compression is true or false, because I'm not really sure. Mine is 480 PSI, I think, at the moment. Should be 440 across the board, but one of its highest cylinders is 480. Yeah, so I got a lot of work ahead of me. We got to convert that block into that head, because otherwise I've got to buy a head for that block, and that's just going to cost me more money in that direction. Or maybe I should try to build both the engines and throw mine back in my car and then keep one on the side as a spare. But the thing is, I should focus on the Triton stuff, because if I focus on the Pajero stuff, the Pajeros are going away sooner than the Tritons, because the Tritons are commercial vehicles that are still getting used to this day. People still need parts for them. Pajeros are throwaways. They're useless now because you can buy a brand new Pajero, and that's what people do. They buy brand new ones now because these things are old school. They're not really as useful as the Tritons are. That's why you couldn't get the right hose here. Tape making a clapping noise. So and that's a Triton hose that fits the Pajero very nicely. This is a Triton hose that does not fit the Pajero. And these hoses back here from a Toyota Camry sedan, SV21R, a 2-litre M petrol something. I can't read it. I'm trying to find a number on this heater hose because it's what it is. And then this is a Falcon Fairlane hose that fits just barely. We cut it a bit wrong, but it's okay. That's why there is this. Then there's a copper pipe here, and then there's another bit of hose that's left over there, extended enough that it reaches, because it wasn't going to reach. It was a bit too short to reach there. So that's the scenario. That's why it's harder to get parts for a Pajero and do it right the first time around. Hopefully this is going to hold up for the life of the vehicle. But, here's the only catch-20 with what we've done here. This isn't actually perfectly on here, so we've got to either custom make a new hose for it, or have something made up, or we have to do something else about it. Now, we haven't purged the air out of the system completely, so it's another job. Another job is to get this to a suspension shop to do the wheel alignment on this and do that, because if we don't do the wheel alignment on this, it will run on that wheel there on the toe, the outer toe, not the inner toe. It won't be balanced. This toe is perfect, that toe is not, so that's another job. Got to find out if we can get a new one of these with the bolts, or extend the bolts that we have and see what we can do with that. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Other than that, there isn't really much else to talk about, other than we're missing a water bottle that should be in this car. Now I feel like I'm going to have to give Dad mine, which I don't really want to do that. He can have the one that's in my car and I'll put the new one in mine, because $65 for the bottle. But from back here, you can see it's on a bit of an angle. That's it for this video, guys. Officially, Michael Mechanical signing off. He has a sore freaking hand from yesterday. He is tired, his rib cage hurts, everything hurts, and that's why he has to go. Bye.